Helps if you turn on the microphone. Good afternoon, I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory. This is a live look at the Evansville riverfront. You can tell from the flags there, it is very breezy across the tri-state. It's windy and colder today, but at least we are finally seeing some sunshine. Changes are on the way though. Thanksgiving is still going to be mostly sunny, breezy and cold. Then by this weekend, rain is likely, but some snow is also possible. And then we've got another chance of snow as we get into early next week. So let's start digging into it here. We do have some clouds out there today, mainly across the northeastern half of the tri-state, but we are all dry and we are getting some peaks of sun breaking through those clouds. The clouds will continue to push off to the east as we go through this afternoon, but they won't stay gone for long. More clouds build in tonight. Overnight tonight into very early Thursday will be mostly cloudy, but those clouds will start to move out pretty quickly as we go through the day on Thursday. And by lunchtime on Thanksgiving Day, we should have mostly sunny skies across the tri-state, and it'll stay clear then through Thursday night and into Black Friday. As for our temperatures, it is cold and breezy out there today. We're currently sitting anywhere from the low to mid 40s in most locations. It's 43 in Evansville and Henderson, 44 in Owensboro and Newburgh, Madisonville a little warmer at 46, and it is not going to warm up much at all as we go through the rest of the afternoon. Even though we are getting a little bit of sunshine, that wind has a bite to it. We've got this wind coming in from the west-northwest around 10 to 20 miles an hour in most locations. We're even seeing gusts up over 30 miles an hour, and that is pulling cold, dry air into the tri-state. So our temperatures will only make it into the mid 40s this afternoon. Then once the sun sets, we'll start to drop back through the 30s. By tomorrow morning, we will eventually bottom out somewhere in the upper 20s to right around 30 degrees. So it will be cold first thing Thanksgiving morning. And then even though it will become mostly sunny, it's still going to be breezy and chilly with highs only reaching the low 40s Thursday afternoon. Now, if you're going to be out shopping for Black Friday, it's going to be even colder. We start the day in the low to mid 20s first thing Friday morning when those stores are going to start opening. Then despite plenty of sunshine, we only make it into the upper 30s Friday afternoon, but at least it will still be sunny. Looks mostly sunny both Thursday and Friday. Then clouds start to build in Friday night as our next weather maker comes in from the west. Now this is where things start to get a little bit messy. On Saturday, I think first thing in the morning, it's going to be cloudy but dry. As we go through the day, though, that changes. Notice that out around St. Louis, they'll start to get some snow Friday morning. It is possible a few of those snow showers could move into the tri-state, especially in Illinois, but it will then quickly change over to all rain as we get into Saturday afternoon and evening. So maybe a few snowflakes early on, right as the system starts to move in, but it will then change over to all rain. So I'm doubtful that we would see any snow accumulation on Saturday. If we do, it would quickly then start to melt as the rain falls on top of it. So little to no impact from that snow. Rain is then likely through Saturday night. I do want to mention, since a lot of folks may be traveling, that from about St. Louis over to Terre Haute and areas to the north of that, we'll be getting mainly snow from this system. So if you're traveling north of the tri-state, keep in mind that they are going to be getting snow this weekend while we will be getting rain. That rain sticks with us through Saturday night. By early Sunday morning, that rain starts to push off to the east, and then we will be mainly dry but still cloudy for most of the day, Sunday and Monday. Now, as we go into Monday night, our next weather system starts to move in. That does bring us a chance of snow. I'm not sure how well you can see it there with the clouds also overlaid, but that little spot of sort of darker white, gray, bluish shade there, that is a chance of snow then pushing in Monday night and continuing into Tuesday morning and then pushing off to the east. So we do have another chance of snow Monday night into Tuesday morning of next week as well. I do want to mention for those who might be traveling, they are getting a serious snow system across the Great Lakes today, tomorrow, and then that'll move into New England as we get into Thursday, Friday. But by Friday, this next system will be brewing across the northern plains and pushing into the Midwest. That's where I said Friday they'll start to see some snow out around St. Louis, and then that's the system that pushes our way as we go through the day on Saturday. Again, areas north of the tri-state will be getting snow from that, so a larger impact to our north. Maybe some heavy rain and thunderstorms down to our south. Here at home, some snow is possible first thing Saturday, but it'll quickly then change over to rain, and it'll be primarily rain across the region. That system then pushes off to the east as we go through the day on Sunday. But notice that next weather system already starting to brew out over Colorado, sweeping through the deep south then as we get into Monday, and then Monday night into Tuesday morning. Few snow showers pushing from west to east across the tri-state. I do think any snow accumulation from that would be minor though. So, oh, I forgot to move my turkey over a day. Obviously Thanksgiving is on Thursday, not Friday. Tomorrow, Turkey Day, mostly sunny, highs in the low 40s. Black Friday, upper 30s, plenty of sunshine. Then we've got maybe a few snowflakes to start, changing over then to mainly rain Saturday afternoon through Saturday night. That rain tapers off early Sunday, but it stays cloudy through Sunday and into Monday. And then we've got another chance of snow Monday night into Tuesday morning. I will say though, I don't think that snow will be much. On the lower end, we've got some models showing, a dusting to a 1/4 inch or so. On the upper end, others are showing closer to an inch, but this many days out, I wouldn't put a whole lot of confidence in either one. So just know that it is going to be cold, and it's going to be cold for a couple days leading up to it. So it is possible we could maybe see some minor snow accumulation Monday night into Tuesday morning, but there's still quite a bit of uncertainty with exactly how much or where. So those kinds of details, it's just too early to get into that. We should have a real clear picture of what to expect by this weekend though. So tune back in this weekend to really get a clearer picture of what to expect next week, as a lot of folks will be going back to school and work. So that snow Monday night into Tuesday morning would have more of an impact than what we're going to see this weekend. I want to check in on the comments real quick. Hello, Suzanne. Happy Thanksgiving Eve to Clint. I'm going to have to open your comment to even see the whole thing, Zach. Below average temperatures, definitely what we're expecting here, Zach, and that's what I'm just about to talk about. Lori asking about how much snow on Saturday. Not much. It would be just a few snowflakes, then changing over to rain. So even if that snow did stick, it wouldn't stick for very long, because once the rain falls on top of it, it'll just kind of turn wet and slushy, and it'll all melt away again. So yeah, we are expecting snow then though as we get into next week. So Saturday, Sunday, I really think it's going to be mainly rain. It's going to be a cold rain though. It's going to be chilly out there. Notice our normal highs this time of year are in the lower 50s. We're looking at temperatures in the 30s for most of the next 7 days. Even the warmest days, we're only getting into the low 40s. So we're running at least 10 degrees below average. These are temperatures more typical of late December into January. This is not the kind of weather you would expect to see in November. So definitely have those winter coats ready to go. It is certainly going to feel like winter out there through the next few days. So even when it is raining Saturday into Sunday, it's going to be that kind of miserable, like just warm enough that it's not snow, that just miserable like 34-degree rain. That's what we're going to be dealing with. So it's going to be a cold, cold rain, but I do think it will be mostly rain. Again, don't be shocked if you do get some snow on Saturday. That's a very real possibility. But I think it will then change over to rain, and I don't think we would see much snow, and what snow we do see wouldn't hang around for very long, as we would then change over to rain. Early next week, though, may be a different story, with lows down into the 20s and highs only reaching the low to mid 30s. It is possible we could see some minor snow accumulation Monday night into Tuesday morning, but this many days out, it's hard to tell for sure exactly how much that would be. I will tell you, though, it doesn't look like a whole lot. We're not expecting some kind kind of huge snowstorm Monday night into Tuesday morning, but we could get some accumulating snowfall for some of us for the first time this season. I know we did have that little snow a couple weeks ago, but this could be our next one there Monday night into Tuesday morning. And again, some flakes certainly possible Saturday, but I think our better shot at accumulation is Monday night into Tuesday. As far as the extended outlook goes, let's take a look at that. The extended outlook then for the second half of next week, so going into the first weekend of December, we are continuing the trend of below average temperatures with near average precipitation. You'll notice higher than average precipitation down to our southeast. Some areas across the deep south are also outlooked for heavy rain possible. Areas to our north up around the Great Lakes are outlooked for potential extreme cold and heavy snow as we get into the first weekend of December. So that's something to be aware of if you're going to be traveling to either of those locations. But here at home, it looks like it'll be still colder than average, but other than that, fairly quiet, kind of typical early December weather. All right, let's see if we've got any other comments. Good evening, Janet. Paula asking about freezing at night on the roads. I'm not convinced that it would be that cold just yet. The bridges might be a different story though, because you have air going underneath as well as over top of the roadway. Bridges and overpasses freeze first. So it may be cold enough to freeze in those, but notice Saturday night into Sunday morning, we're barely getting down to freezing. So it's not going to be that, it's going to be a miserable cold because it's going to be raining and in the 30s, but it's not going to be that kind of brutal, frigid cold that would cause things to ice over. I just really don't see that being a major problem because it's barely going to be cold enough to turn into ice. Monday night into Tuesday morning, that's when our overnight lows are going to be getting into the 20s. So at that point, it will be cold enough that I do think we could see snow and maybe even see that snow sticking, as our highs would have been in the 30s for several days at that point. So the ground would start to be colder, the pavement will be colder. So I really think as far as winter weather impacts, Monday night into Tuesday is more of a concern to me. I think Saturday into Sunday will be mainly just kind of a cold, miserable rain, but there is that outlying possibility that we could see some snow. It might even stick. I don't think it would hang around for very long though, and I'm not real concerned about some kind of, widespread freeze after the fact, black ice and things like that. I just don't think it's going to be that cold. By the time it does get that cold Sunday night, it will have been dry for most of the day that day, so the pavement should dry back out again. So that was kind of a long-winded way around to saying I don't see that being a major problem. But if you're on a bridge or an overpass, definitely be on the careful side that there may be some slick spots there if the snow was going to stick, if we were going to have any slick spots, if black ice was going to develop, it would most likely be on those elevated surfaces like bridges and overpasses. But again, this weekend, I think any winter weather impacts will probably be fairly minimal. They're possible, but I don't see it being a huge impact. I think it'll mainly just be cold, and we'll have some rain mainly later in the day Saturday into very early Sunday. If we're going to have winter weather impacts, personally, I think the better possibility of that is Monday night into Tuesday morning of next week. That's where it's going to be colder, and I think it'll be primarily snow. I don't think we'll have as much rain mixing in, and so the snow will have a better chance of sticking. And so I think the accumulation would still be minor. If I had to place a bet now, I'd say less than an inch, but this many days out, there's really no way of knowing for certain. So keep checking back as this forecast will keep changing. The closer these systems get, the easier it is to tell exactly how it's going to change. Jeff Lyons always used the sort of example of if you were going bowling, and you tried to throw a bowling ball down a football field. Okay, if the football field is 10 yards, or if you're on a football field. Stick with me here. You're on a football field, you've got a bowling ball. If you're trying to hit a pin that is 10 yards away versus on the complete other end of the football field, well, where's your better chance? Every little divot, every bump in the grass has the possibility of offsetting that bowling ball, and it's going to be harder and harder to hit your target, right? That's kind of how it is when we're trying to forecast this many days out. The closer we get, the clearer it is to see and the easier it is to kind of nail that forecast. The farther out you get, any little change could have a huge impact on where things actually end up. So farther out you get, the harder the forecasting becomes, is the moral of that story there. I know I'm kind of on a ramble and a rant here, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you, Paula. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving too, and I hope I answered your question. News is not joining me today, so you'll have to tune in at 4, 5, 6, and 10 to get your latest headlines. I know we've got a lot of news going on today. Our reporters are out working really hard gathering those stories and getting them ready for you for the newscast tonight. So I hope you'll join us tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10. And Michael Fecca will be on tonight at 9. So if you have any questions or if there are any updates to the forecast, he will have those for you tonight at 9, and he can take your questions then too if you have any questions I didn't get around to. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day and a happy Thanksgiving.